Just stop the recording. Just turn it off.
We hear the magical mystery tour. Welcome to episode 573 of Morelia Python Radio. It's just Owen and I. We are coming off of Carpet Fest. Was I guess when we're recording this, it was basically a week ago.
God, why does it seem longer? Like further away? Like no, it just happened.
Yeah, it just did. But we're going to talk about that. I don't know. Somehow after Carpet Fest, I have 5 new snakes.
Yes, you did a great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. And then, we're going to talk about carpet python buying tips.
Carpet python buying tips?
Yeah, like how you like.
Oh, no, I mean, you just kind of slipped into a little bit of an accent there. Carpet python. Like, okay, nipper. Carpet python. Yeah.
Yes.
Pinky out. Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
there's, people have messaged me about, where do they go to look for carpet pythons and, what kind of, where should they buy them and what should they look for? So we'll get into all that. Yes, his name is Owen. That's all you
come to me. That's all you need to know.
Nothing.
I don't know. That's it. No one else. If I don't have it,
show over.
Doesn't exist. Show over. Run the credits.
Yes. So that'll be good. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about another Carpet Fest that's coming up. It's the Texas Carpet Fest, Saturday, October 19th from 2 to 11 at Rebslandia Zoo in Johnson City, Texas.
We're going to have to make...
We're going to
set aside bullshit and actually go out to that because I want to see Ari Zoo, and it would be a great excuse to go out there and do that. And I want to see the Texas Carpet Fest. So I think that is...
It's
I would
on
love to do that.
Yeah, it's on the agenda for next year for sure.
Well,
even if it is prior to an Australian trip.
Well, yeah, so the issue I have is if Rob's like, we can only go to Kimberly at this time, I'm gonna be like, so we're gonna push Texas Carpet Fest
to 2026.
Nope. Like it is so. That is the only problem is that it keeps happening in the month that is the best to go there. Now, if we were to go to Texas Carpet Fest for the weekend and then leave from Texas to Australia.
Now you're talking, Owen.
There you go. Now
Yes.
I got it.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. I got it.
That would be quite the
we'll just get up pretty early in the morning to get one over on old Owen McIntyre.
There we go. I see. Very good.
Yeah.
So if it's a get together, you get to see the zoo, which is
beautiful.
Amazing. From all the pictures that I've seen and videos, Keith's been there. He said it was amazing. I remember when they were putting the enclosures together and everything. It just
I love watching the videos of Ari like building up that shit. So I mean, it's a gorgeous place and no better place to have a Carpet Fest.
Yes.
So.
Well, I mean, Warminster's no.
I mean, Warminster's nice.
No, just kidding.
Do you have a bowling enclosure?
I do.
No,
I do not. But they have food and drinks and everything. It's all in one place. They're starting to get a bunch of sponsors. So that's going on. So if you want more info, just reach out to Michael Taylor. And if you want to get, the details of when things are happening, they have a group, Texas Carpet Fest. So go over there, join up.
And I will say, as we wrap up 2024, because, we are getting close to the end of it and we're done with our Carpet Fest, I would recommend that if you are in an area that does not have a Carpet Fest, maybe look into launching one of your own. We don't charge dues. We don't make you guys do stuff.
Not yet.
It's not yet. maybe soon. But I keep asking. Eric won't let me sell out. I can't. Like if it were up to me, I would have sold.
You would
out
all be paying.
Oh my God, day one. We would be having to do. We would have to pause right now to do a purple mattress ad. If I had my way.
It's all about the balance.
Just working on it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. This egg doesn't crack. It's amazing. This snake egg is not disrupted. Anyway.
That's right. Texas Carpet Fest. They're also the Klubert Fest, which is next
end of
weekend.
September. Yes.
At the no. It's tomorrow. No. 28th, right?
Yeah.
In
Next week.
Show
it's
me.
Tomorrow. No, it's not tomorrow. So
I don't know, man.
Week.
I'm so screwed up. My vacation was in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
You know, I had one day off. I've been working like, I don't
confused, bewildered.
I think I've been working 7 days straight so far now. And I'm just like, I'm spent.
That's it. I'm done. Toast. So,
yeah. Okay. I think that's all the news I have.
I mean, go out there. Obviously Colubrid Fest, look online. There's stuff all over the place. They have talk. They have a list of vendors. They have a list of the people who are doing the talks.
Yep.
And if you are lucky enough to set up a table, go check out all the cool stuff they have there. Yeah. I don't think I'm sending anything out there. There was an offer of sending some stuff out there, but I think I'm going to hold on to everybody here. But if you see Mad Hogs, they're mine.
Yeah,
we were told otherwise. So
yeah, you were saying about we were gonna try to go out at least for the weekend, but it's not in the cards for me because I couldn't get off work. So next year, hopefully. I think this year with I
think this year with Carpet Fest being where it was, it kind of made it impossible.
Yeah, it screwed it up.
If next year Carpet Fest is in the springtime, then I think this would be feasible. Granted that they don't move for some other reason. Like, I don't want this to be moving targets. Like, then
we move and then they
move and then that. Yeah. So, but that would be cool to go out there and check that out. And hopefully they do have another one. I was talking to Foley today.
In the works.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Foley today, and I'm like, did you ever go to ICAST? He goes, no, I missed it. And I'm reminded yearly that I missed it because I see all these pictures where it's like, hey, do you remember this picture from, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so.
I was glad that we didn't miss that.
Me too.
That was a pretty epic event.
Me too, and I was talking to Buddy at Carpet Fest, and he's like, well, there could be another one in the works, which... Not to say anything bad about my good friend Buddy. I think we've been saying that now for 13 years that there could be another one in the works. So I think it's time to just do it.
That's the other thing that dawned on me. Guess what? We're 13 years.
Yeah. 13. Almost 13 years old here. Yep.
No, we are.
We are.
This is when I started it. It was 2 weeks before Tinley.
Right.
Yeah. And Tinley's always at the first week of October.
Yeah.
It's like that first weekend. So,
yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are indeed.
Season 13. God damn, man.
If I get to 15, if we get to 15, we have contract negotiations, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 is
every 15 years contract negotiations.
I gotta think. Like, I think maybe what is the guy that is the OG podcaster? Adam Carolla, maybe. Yeah. Maybe he's the only one that's been doing podcasts.
There have to be other ones.
Joe Rogan.
I mean, that's the problem, is that there have to be other ones out there that aren't in our scope.
There's no reptile ones.
Oh, I know that, but it's like, but do you remember how sometimes people were like, these guys are the longest running reptile guys, and it's like they've been here for 4 years, and we're like, what? Like,
yes, I did.
No,
that's cute.
But they didn't keep what we kept, so they didn't listen to us, so they don't freaking know.
Right.
So, but
that's true. It could be like Amphibicast or one of those.
And for all we know, there's some sort of train collector podcast that has been on for 20 years, and it came over from, what were the TV shows that were like, it's like filmed in some dude's basement, like public access
public
access channels. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like the remember when they used to have the Channel 12 WHYY fundraisers? You get a free tote bag for like $100.
Oh my god.
$100 donation, you get a tote bag.
Do you remember there was this guy who did animal stuff on one of the shows, and he'd answer pet questions, but while he's talking, he has like puppies loose and kittens and hamsters and snakes and all this other, like eventually like one of the squirrels jumps into a tank full of fish and it's just a pandemonium, and he's like, well, the best thing for your friend at home is to get him something to chew. Meanwhile, the sugar glider's like, whoo, like
it's like that scene in
you're looking at this snake, and the snake is like,
where he's like,
exactly. this snake is loaded, looking right at this kitten, and you're like, dear God, like somebody please.
I think he likes him.
I think he likes him. No, dude, like it. Yeah, looking back at that shit, you were like, oh my God. Just like how I did watch that Chimp Crazy show on HBO Max.
Oh boy.
And
yeah, me too. I didn't finish it, but
oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. It makes animal people look a little crazy.
But I'm terrified. So I am terrified because this guy, I remember when he started, this documentarist was at Tom Crutchfield's place filming when the dude rolled up with a snow leopard, and then he started down the Tiger King thing, and now he's doing this whole chimp thingy, and I'm like, it's only a matter of time before he comes back around and goes, my unfinished business. And of course this, and then like dudes are getting bit by taipans and crap. It's like, so
yeah. Oh man. We
because there are several people that I know in the reptile industry that I don't want a professional film documentary crew pointing cameras at. Okay, like
there's a few of them.
There's a few of them where I'm like, not that one. Like, please not
pick that one, please.
Please not that one. Pick someone else. Like it.
They were on so I think it was a team of two guys that did that, and they were on Rogan, and they were talking about, the one guy was talking about how he's a turtle guy. So he's a turtle, like he's into turtle conservation and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
I like turtle conservation. One of the main problems, one of the main dangers to turtle conservation is the pet industry. So do we really want to keep doing this? Like, I mean, like it's don't peel the onion back too far, because there we are.
Yeah, it could be bad.
Yeah.
That's why I think, okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Sort of Carpet Fest talk around the campfire was we had a couple conversations. Obviously, one of them was the whole taipan bite, right? And we were sort of talking about how I think Kentucky Reptile Zoo was getting some shit because basically they didn't want to give up the anti-venom to send to the guy. I don't know if they eventually ended up sending it.
Well, I think that the problem is that I think the Kentucky Reptile Zoo is like, no, because I think they'd be like, well, yeah, because the other thing is that I want to say that there were means for this guy to get the anti-venom that might have cost him a little bit more. And maybe because the guy got the anti-venom that was flown in from Florida from Venom 1, which is...
That can't be cheap.
No.
The
vial itself, I've heard, is $10,000.
Holy shit. Wow.
And then they're going to make you pay for the fuel and all the other stuff. It's like, listen, I'm a guy who plays... I pay ambulance bills for a living, like my job.
Right.
Every single thing has a price tag to it.
Sure.
If you got into an auto accident and they came and put a Band-Aid on your little boo on your knee, they can send you an invoice for it. So
when my mom was in the hospital when she fell, holy shit, that bill was insane.
Yeah.
It was just insane.
Yeah.
It's like, is this for real?
Yeah. And then what makes you sick is all the things that are in place where it's like, oh, Medicare. Oh, well, this $5,000 bill, $2. Wait. What?
Just like that.
What if I didn't have the Medicare? Oh no, we would not accept this small amount. No. Bill says this. Like, okay, I can't right now. That's whatever. But
yeah,
I guarantee you there's that whole thing. But I know on the other side of that, possibly as a result of that, or the many other things that we as a community have done to piss off the normies, like loose zebra cobras, Burmese python roundups, crocodile stuff, gators loose here. Like it's, they are, I want to say the bill is being prepared. I don't know if it was been presented or it's being, like, they haven't voted on it yet, but there was
that state's screwed, man.
Well, yeah, of course it is.
That state's screwed.
But this is how this shit happens. And this is why, especially with venomous, you need to know what you're doing and you need to not take this shit lightly, because now you have fucked up. First off, all the animals in that dude's collection are dead.
Yeah.
So they brought them all, and no venomous zoo or collection thing or anybody could take these animals. One, because they had no idea what their health was like, what they could be bringing in and introducing to their own collection. Plus anybody else who like would have been like, yeah, I'll take them. They're not equipped to handle like nobody from the street. Like the fishing game was not going to give it to the neighbor who's like, of course I'll take the taipan. Like, no, shut up. Like you shut up. So
yeah, I get again, I'm not really a venomous person per se, and I don't, know the ins and outs, but this is what I do think of it. And one of the things that we were talking about is like, we were talking about how I tend to think that us saying that we police our own is kind of a bullshit statement that doesn't mean anything. It just makes us feel good.
It is.
Because, nobody's willing to inconvenience themselves. I think that's probably an issue with the entire world, right? It's like, if this is going to inconvenience me, then I don't want any parts of it. But if it if it makes you inconvenient, then that's your problem.
Well, but the problem is also just because you shun somebody or just because you blast somebody, the reptile industry as a whole is huge.
Oh yeah.
And just because you're banned from shows, like I think we talked about it before with the whole Samson Pruitt thing. Like there were people that were like posting on his Facebook page that just give it a little bit of time and all those new people will be gone and we'll be back to business as usual, the way it should in the reptile industry. And that's,
I think
it's not good.
I get what you're saying. Like just saying like, don't talk to that guy is not going to really fix the problem.
Because
I think I think it should be, I know I'm going to sound crazy when I say this, but I think we're at the point where I think it needs to be done by us before it's done by the government, right?
Well, I would understand that thing. So yeah, just go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was going to say that like, one of the things that I said as we were sitting around the fire pit was like, I don't know if it would be USARK. I don't know if it would be something along the lines of USARK. I don't know if it would have to be something else besides USARK, but I feel like that there has to be some type of regulation, not even regulation by the government, but regulation by us, meaning that if you're going to have X species, then you have to make sure that, you have to show that you can take care of it and show. And again, I know that it's a huge task. I know that I'm probably somebody's gonna.
Well, the problem is
back.
How do you police that?
Right.
How do you
exactly.
how do you police that? So same thing. Like, all right, dog breeders have AKC records, rules, regulations, and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that you can't breed your dogs in your backyard. It doesn't matter.
True. Right.
So where it comes down to is then also certain government entities will step in if they will believe that there is animal abuse or neglect, or they don't reach certain standards set down by the township, state, or the federal government. And then that's when you start seeing sanctions, and you start seeing people who are not allowed to possess, breed, or do anything with the animals at that point. So say you're a German Shepherd breeder, and I'm just throwing stuff out there, and you're an AKC German Shepherd breeder, and you start doing shit that the AKC doesn't like, and they're like, hey, no more. You lost your AKC accreditation. Nothing changes. You should still keep breeding. You're still,
sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could do that, but that's not going to stop because we got no muscle there.
Well, like what if it was a matter of, in order to, and again, let's preface this. I am a freedom guy. I don't believe in I think that people should have freedom to do what they want to do. Unfortunately, there's some things where, you
went too far, and now we got to reel it back. Now you got to get reeled back in. We've gone too far. Yeah.
Clearly, we can't do it on our own because
I don't have the freedom to go punch my neighbor in the face. Okay,
correct.
That's no, you can't do that.
Right, 100%. So it's kind of like, what the hell is going on in my house?
Rob's here again.
Yeah, right. I think Rue didn't like Rob. Holy shit.
Yeah, my God,
and
dude.
He had him there for a minute, and then all of a sudden Rue stepped out of it like, wait a minute, you're not.
Well, yeah, like we were feeding him bacon at breakfast, and he's like, this is nice. And he's like, when the hell did you get there? You were sitting there the whole time. I'm like, yeah. So
yeah.
Yep.
Again, I'm just thinking this out loud. I don't know how you would go about doing this or whatever, but I think that, I think that we have to do something about, even if it's, the things that are, man, the the big animals, like the venomous stuff,
the
like
retics.
I don't think that people really give a shit if you have a corn snake. I don't even think people care if you have a, like a larger like a mid-sized python.
Right.
And I get the whole argument that, it's like you're, that meme that was like the person's like scooping the water out of the boat and and it's got a hole in the back and you're just like, it's, so I get that, but I think, I don't know, man. I don't see how this keeps going like this. Like eventually they're gonna say,
well,
no.
That's the problem, is eventually the hammer gets dropped. So, and you can kind of look at this in other animal industries.
Yeah.
Bunch of people fucking around with tigers. Eventually the federal ban on cats is going to get, that's going to happen. So
I can't believe chimps aren't illegal.
Terrifying, fucking right?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, dude.
I do believe that there are certain species that you shouldn't keep in captivity, right?
I think anything that is an ursa, which is bear, I think any of the great apes is just no.
Yeah.
And then I would think any big cat, nobody is, very, very few people are prepared for what that would entail of keeping that thing happy, healthy, and not on a murderous rampage.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think it's easier to get. I think it's easier to get some tigers than it is to get like other stuff. Like it's,
I bet you I could get a tiger before I could get an imbricata.
I don't want to play this game because
I don't either, because
I know how easy it is to get a tiger. So
is it really that easy? Yeah.
I've held several in my hands, cubs of varying ages that I don't want to think about because
I don't want to tell people that they can't have a Nile crocodile, but most people can have a Nile crocodile. You know what I'm saying? Like there's probably
that's an animal the size of a bus. There's no chance in hell you can't even keep. I think there's very few people who can keep a smooth front caiman correctly. Like it is the amount of size that animal's going to get, and then what kind of enclosure is it going to need? It's going to need a water plate. It's going to need a bunch of other shit. I don't think you should own alligators or crocodiles. And you're talking to somebody who has interacted, worked with, and owned alligators and crocodiles.
I think that, there's like, I think of like, I was talking to Dory about this, and we were saying about in Florida, like if you had a pit that you could dig and you could fill with water and have a huge, it's basically my backyard.
You know what crocodiles. I mean? That's how there are crocodiles in the Everglades. Like that.
That's true.
That shit is how we got into this trouble. Like, this is how we got in this problem.
Kayaking down through the Everglades. Everything is good. And then
crocodile, like, salty. Like that is the problem, is that certain people don't think above their own arrogance of, I want it. They don't think about, one, whether they should do it, whether it's feasible to do it, and then what are the repercussions of doing it. And dude, this is, you're talking to a guy that, like, I grew up down the road from Martin's Aquarium. I've been to Hamburg shows since college. Sure. I've seen some shit.
Yeah. Me too.
I've been a part of a roadside zoo facility. I don't know what you want to call it. An accredited ZAA and USDA facility that was inside it was an all indoor facility inside where an industrial park.
Okay.
It's not good. Nah. No good at all.
No, that's
so you've been on when you're on the other side of it, and then you come back over the line, you realize all this shit. Like, and nobody was telling this to fresh out of college Owen, because I had a tiger cub running around my house. Right. So I didn't give two shits. I had a tiger cub, but I didn't own it. It was the zoo's. I was just taking care of it because it needed to be bottle fed, because it was pulled pulled away from its mother when it never should have been. But on the other side of it is, I realized the thing should have been with its mother, not with me. Like that is, so that's part of it. When you look at it through that kind of a lens, some shit is like, I just don't know why that's okay. Why we kind of turned the blind eye to that. And kind of getting back around to the topic is that the reason we had the discussion is because there was some law. Again, I don't know if it's being worked on or is being voted on soon, which would add reptiles to the USDA as animals that they inspect or monitor. I forget the exact terminology because I think they added that birds were added at some point for like bird breeding and stuff like that. And USDA already inspects bird farms and stuff like that. And the USDA also does inspect animal breeders of certain types. So it would add reptiles underneath that kind of scope, which means a lot of us would have to be, if we were licensed breeders in our states, we would have to be compliant with USDA standards. Now, again, does that mean that they're going to kick in your door if you bred your ball pythons in your house? No. Basically, there would be a clear line between a breeder and a backyard breeder, much like there is currently with dogs and stuff like that. There's a difference between an AKC USDA inspected facility for dog breeding or a dog breeder and a puppy mill.
Yeah.
So, and then even another step after that is some guy just breeding his own pit bulls in his backyard. So,
yeah,
that's where it would be.
I don't think you'll ever get out of that. I think though that the public, I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but the way I would look at that is like, okay, this guy does not represent the AKC organization
100%
of dog breeders.
Right.
Clearly, the AKC dog breeders are the people that are, are doing dogs correctly.
Top shelf.
Right?
But they're regulated. They have to have certain records. They have to have all this other stuff. Like if you're inspected by the USDA, they want to come in, they want to look at your vet records, your books. We talked about this on the way to Roberts. Of what we used to have to do for USDA inspections at the zoo I worked for. Mm-hmm. And there can be a lot depending on what they deem is necessary. And also they'll inspect cages, facilities, all this other stuff. And they'll write you up for something. And then you have the next time when they come pick up again, if it's still broken, that's a problem. But and this is also, they have scheduled inspections, but they can also be like, hey, what you doing?
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I've been in those with food a couple of times.
Yeah. So
which everything was okay, but
that's why
it's nervous,
right?
Nervous
and but that's why you have your standard operating procedures, and you cannot falter from those. And also, you have your guidelines where, for all we know, USDA could walk in and they could have the USDA standards, and they could say rack systems aren't going to work for us. So, now we got a choice.
What would we do? What would we do then? It depends. You think that the reptile community would say, yeah, we're going to have to get rid of these and I'm going to have to cut down my collection tremendously. And if I want to keep these, or do you think that they would just be like, no, you're not taking them prying them from my cold, dead hands?
I think it would be, there's going to be several camps. And I think in these kind of situations, you pick the hill you want to die on.
Yeah.
So first things first is that there's going to be people who are like, if you have these animals, you must have this stuff, this compliance, do this, get these licenses. And you're going to have people that go underground. And that is the worst, because if they say you have to do this to keep these animals, what ends up happening is that if you go underground there and they find you, which I mean, talking about what Fish and Game does in other states where there have to be licenses for certain animals, like they set up sting operations to buy shit. They walk around and do stuff like, and also the reptile person that does this cannot shut the fuck up. It's never the person that it like just quietly shuts down their whole operation. It's always the guy who's like, I got a picture of me with it.
Yes.
And that's so, of course, what happens is that they get turned in, they come, they take everything. So that's that. If there are other ones where they ask you to be compliant, to be a USDA breeder, or to be, licensed as a breeder, then you have to get rid of it and get something different. If you have to cut down your collection, you got to cut down your collection. Those are the people who want to be compliant. The other people who don't want to be compliant, fine. You don't have to be compliant. But what if they say that in order to participate in a reptile show, you have to have your USDA license number?
Right. Exactly.
Or in order to ship through these things,
that's
you have to have a USDA.
Yes.
Right. So basically what they're saying is you don't have to do it, but we're going to make it absolutely fucking hard. Now,
I think we should do that, though.
I think we should.
I don't
too,
think the government should do that. I think we should do that.
But that's we can't get guys to agree on whether or not it's okay to keep an animal in a sweater box. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that we're gonna get we can't get people to agree that yellow Neos are better than red Neos. I said it.
Yeah.
So I'm
team yellow.
Oh, I mean, that's the problem is I like the lemon tree stuff the best. Yeah. So I mean, I want yellow. I want an almost all yellow snake with little green scales. That's what I want.
If a green tree python stayed that color into
it'd be all yeah. Dude. So I don't want red babies. I want the yellow ones. Yeah, no.
I'm not saying that they're not pretty or anything and they don't grow up to be nice. Yeah, absolutely they do. But for me, I'm team yellow. I think.
Can you imagine if a green tree python stayed that red too? I'm not like saying change green or got color. Like if it was just red.
Stayed red.
Yeah,
like
red.
Crimson red.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a red snake. Yeah. Snipper. It
is. He said that about the milk
snake. I know. And I jumped no, it's a milk snake nipper. I was waiting. I was disappointed. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he did. He was off his game. He didn't know what to do.
I know. Listen, the fact that every once in a while I throw these things out there and I think he senses the trap. So I think he just kind of like, what? No, I will not step there. Like
I can hear him.
It's an old Bugs Bunny cartoon. Cross that line. And then he finally gets to the cliff and he's like, no. So
he's sipping his tea going, well played, McIntyre.
You just wait.
Well played, McIntyre.
You just wait, my little puppet. You just wait.
Mate.
Mate, I don't sound like that, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I just said a whole bunch of nonsense, but I think we're at the point where I think that the reptile community needs to start to figure out how do we do that before somebody else does? Because one of the things that Zach brought up is like, they're not going to want to dump a bunch of money into it because who's going to, you said it earlier, who's going to go in and inspect these things? Who's going to do these things? That costs money. Right? I mean, I know you would sign up.
I mean, I would quit my job and join the USDA and Listen, I know the difference between a boa and a Burmese python. That already gets me higher than most of the ones down in Florida.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me and you? It would be like Dumb and Dumber doing
it. Would be. It would not be okay. I think we would be public enemies number 1 and 2 very, very quickly. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah, no. But I do believe that, I think if USARK were to put out some sort of standard operating procedures per species of care,
that's huge, man.
We could put and I'm talking like spotted pythons. Okay, if you're going to keep a spotted python, this is the cage sizes we recommend for tank, rack, cage. These are the heating implements light, heat panel, heat tape, and then like copy pasted stuff. Like if you're going to run heat tape, you got to put this in. We recommend these things, all this stuff, and all that crap. And then feeding and other stuff like that. There you go. That's the general care form for that species. And it can say spotted pythons between, this size to adulthood, done. And that's it there. And that's the standard operating procedure for a spotted python. And then they should write up something for a reticulated python. And they should talk to some of the breeders out there about what they would recommend. They can even put that this person who is a known breeder of these species recommends this. It's almost like somebody has been doing a fucking podcast for 13 goddamn years to put out the standard operating procedures for multiple species. I'm sorry. sorry.
How do you really
Get it back. Anyway, so
we are allowed to get grumpy.
I mean,
we're 13. In podcast years, that's like retirement age, man.
Can we quit the show before it's old enough to drink? Can we just retire? Can we be done? Dude, I want to know. I want to know when I can get off the train.
I might be done by the time MPR can drink. I think I'm.
What did Lucas say? Like a couple more years, you guys can get a learner's permit. Shut up.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Anyway.
Yeah. So there's that. So yeah, we had again, this is where Carpet Fest is great for these kind of conversations. And I purposely kind of like played Carpet Fest down because I wanted it to be low key this year. And it really kind of was.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed it. I mean, there was
got us back to our roots.
Yeah. Obviously there was people there because of the timing. Like Keith wasn't there, Scott Borden wasn't there,
Scott
Howard wasn't there.
Scott Borden, unfortunately, now is dead to me. We won't speak his name. If you say it, I'll just spit on the ground.
Who are some of the other Christian Parr wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a weird time.
Yeah, a couple people that normally come.
Travis wasn't there.
They weren't able to make it.
You know,
we did get Brandon and Tony from the West Coast, but like none of the other West Coast guys or gals were able to come out for that.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah, it was great to see Tony and Brandon. They made that steak. Oh, it was fabulous.
I cooked it.
Did you?
I cooked the leftovers, and I'm like, dear Lord. And Melissa was like attacking it yesterday. She's like, "It's freaking great." I'm like, I did not. All I did was warm it up. Like I didn't marinate it or do any of that shit. So
yeah, we really kind of shit the bunk with the food thing. We had so much food, and then I'm sitting here the next morning, and I'm like, I knew I was going to meet up with Owen, and I was like, Owen, do you want hamburger rolls, hot dog rolls?
I have too many hot dog rolls. I'm like crap. I'm like, well, that's the thing is, before I went to the supermarket the day before, and I'm like, crap. Well, Eric's gonna bring up hot dog rolls. I guess they grab a pack of hot dogs. You show up here with like 16 goddamn hot dog rolls.
Like, I know. I told you it was a lot.
Shit. All right. Well, I got a pack of hot dogs. I need more hot dogs.
I'm supporting local supermarkets in the Birdsboro area.
Oh yeah. That's how. Yeah, you're stay strong.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, but overall, I really did have a great time.
I did too. It was a lot of fun. It was good seeing a lot of people that we did see, meeting some new people, and the conversation was good all over the place.
So, a couple highlights for me of people that I've met, but I didn't really get to talk to in the past, but this time I was like, one was Autumn, her cages.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm gonna.
No, is it Autumn or was it Rachel?
Yeah, you're right. Why did I say no? Her Facebook is Autumn.
Ah,
yeah,
gotcha.
I was saying that. But I want to pull up just so I look at these cages real quick. Let's see.
Don't know where it is.
Why does it come up? Anyway, her cages were really, really nice. It turns out that she has one of my snakes that was sold to her through. That's always cool to see when that happens. It's been a long time since somebody can say that they have one of my snakes.
There was shock and awe when they're like, I have one of the snakes. And I'm like, why, yes, children. He does let them go every once in a while.
Yes.
There was a lot of gasping. Yeah. So
yeah.
I will say that I don't think the animal rule has been broken more times by us in a single show or Carpet Fest. You and I broke it multiple times.
I did.
Yeah, I did too.
But it's my house, so
I know
I'm allowed to.
I have co-host powers, so I'm allowed to do that too.
I mean, look at her cages. And I asked her. To me, that's like the reptile. It's just awesome. And I was like, I was talking to her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, I did them all myself." And,
yeah,
you know, she has various species or whatever, but she has poplin carpet. I just was blown away by that.
And she sets it up nice. Like, and she and I have talked about her stuff before too, about really what she keeps in cages, but she's all over the map. I think she's got longicauda, she's got rat snakes, she's got carpet pythons. I think she just keeps what she wants.
Yeah. And
then just sets them up in these really cool cages. And there's tons of stuff going on in those cages.
That's an awesome snake room. So if you're listening to us and you didn't see the picture, go over, watch it on YouTube. You can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Really cool. That's why I called her Autumn, because it said Autumn Effect.
Yeah. I go by many names online.
That's true.
Mark O'Shea.
Yeah. This is true. What the heck is going on?
I don't know what you're doing.
Let's see who else did. Obviously,
Zach Baez, Buddy Buscemi.
I was happy that Zach showed up. He came after work. Him
Yep.
and his girlfriend and
Nick Scally was there.
Had a blast with Nick Scally, man. He's a funny guy. So we were talking before this thing, right? So Nick Scally asked if he could crash at the house. I said, yeah, sure, man, whatever. So he's crashed at the house, and he has, what is it, a 7-hour drive?
Yeah,
he has a far drive.
Yeah,
right?
He drives down from.
So I know he wanted to be on the road early Sunday so he could get home, and he kind of woke up. I kind of slept in a little bit.
He does that thing where I think he's got that dad thing where he can't sleep past like 6 in the morning.
Sure.
You know, so I'm pretty sure he was up because last year he was up cleaning stuff and I had woken up and I was helping him out. But this year he was up and out before we even got up. And I think we got up at like 8 o'clock. Like it wasn't like we slept in terribly. He was just up and out and he had cleaned up everything that was outside. So all we had to do was just take care of everything that was inside.
Yeah, which was awesome. And so he sends me a message and he says, he's like, hey, did you find like it's like an ice pack, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. He says, yeah, I think I left it in your freezer. I left your present. I was like, oh, okay. I said, do you want me to I was like, do you want me to mail it to you? He's like, nah, whatever. I said, it'll probably still be in the same spot next year when you come.
I mean, it won't move. Yeah.
He's like, no, you should take that to Australia, put it in your camel pack, and you'll have cold water.
Cold water. Oh,
like,
yeah. Just don't. It's safe to drink.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's double check this. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he says, he asked me about having if I had a shoe. Did I find a shoe? And I was like, I don't know, man. I guess I'll have to ask my wife if we found the shoe. And he's like, goddamn Carpet Fest. And I said, and then he says, you know what it reminds me of? It's like the Catalina wine mixer.
Wait, my question is, did he drive back with no shoes? Like, or was it just one shoe and he's like, gets out of his car? Oh, that's not good. Like, I mean,
yeah, if he's just noticing it today.
Yeah, just noticing he's only got one shoe on.
That's a little crazy. But he's like, if we could make a video of all the carpet people, instead of saying the Catalina wine mixer, we say
goddamn Carpet Fest.
Goddamn Carpet Fest. Yeah. Motherfucking Carpet Fest.
Carpet Fest. Yeah.
So we'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
Because that would be funny as shit.
Brandon Wheeler was juggling your gelatin jungle. Or was it the inland?
No, it was the Cape York.
Oh, he was tossing the Cape York like it, like it didn't matter. It's like, please don't. And I saw in the pictures you busted out the Russian red tiger male.
I did.
I didn't see him.
I didn't bring him outside.
Animal, and I didn't see him.
I didn't bring him. I brought him.
I know
into the room.
I told Curtin, I'm like, apparently he had the goddamn Russian tiger out and didn't show it to us. And Mike was like, he did. So yeah, now everyone's mad at you. So
I showed it to Mike. What is he talking about?
All right, maybe Mike wasn't 100% there.
He's the reason I took it out.
That or Mike lied to me and he's like, I'm like, I didn't get to see it. And he went, oh no. Like now he's throwing you under the bus. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the hit.
I'll take that. Either or. I'll take either or.
Right. So yeah, I did bring a few snakes outside. People love the citrus tigers. I brought a poison ivy baby out or offspring out to sort of show everybody what they look like. And now they don't think I'm fucking crazy, which is good. That's good.
Because Kohler comes up to me after Kohler gave you your animals and he's like, I got a snake tour. You were supposed to stop me. I'm like, I don't give a shit. What do you want here? You're like, oh yes, congratulations. You saw the snakes I've seen 1,000,000 times. Like, get out of here.
You're like, yeah, please, man.
Please. I
come to pick and choose the ones I want to take. Can you do that? No, you can't. So shut up.
You got the tour. He opened what, 4 bins for you? I know where the good shit is. Like, yeah.
I purposely didn't open up the good shit. Like nothing to see here.
Not that bin. Not that. No, it's fine. Yeah.
So anyway, I brought out the citrus tiger. People love that.
He was very pretty. There was a lot of people I want to think citrus tiger is one of those ones where it's like, photos do them no justice. Is when you actually get them in your hand, you're like, holy crap, the color. Like that's what it does. You plus that a diamond python.
Yeah,
that I
people love
wanted.
them.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Yeah, Natalie was a big fan of the which her and her boyfriend came. They're
From
what,
Ohio.
they were 20 years old, right? They came to
Yeah.
the first carpet
To
fest.
be
Yeah,
young.
right. It's like it was funny when we're sitting there
9-hour
talking.
drive for
Yeah,
a barbecue. Yeah.
We're chatting or whatever, and I think Brandon said he was 38, and she's like, "Wow, you're
That's
as
the
old
same
as
age as my dad. I'm like,
We're like,
whoa.
we're old, man. Yeah.
That hurts.
Yes.
But
yeah, super passionate about snakes and carpet pythons and all, which I always love seeing.
love
I
that.
always love
That's
seeing new
fantastic.
people into it.
Well, it's good because what I feel is like every once
she
in a
will
while,
get a citrus tiger for sure.
What I feel like is when there's certain people that come in and you can kind of know that they're passionate about it and you kind of sense what they're going to do with it and kind of go, you want to almost give them the football and let them like run up with it. Like you want to kind of, invest in there moving forward because that's going to move the entire
that's why I went
community Morelia forward. Yeah.
That's why I went and grabbed a couple snakes to show because I felt like, they get,
if you're going to come, why
way,
not? Yeah.
You've never seen this. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. Let me show you this. And
I love how there were people that clearly have seen these animals before. They were like pushing her out of the way.
Like, yeah, I know, right?
Like, stop. Like it's
throw her in the pool. I want that snake.
I want the diamond. And I understand that was me several times, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that, but
I don't know, man. Diamond pythons always steal the show.
I keep asking people if they'll trade me roughies for diamonds.
Nobody wants to do it.
No, everybody's got roughies already. It's
nobody wants those dirt brown snakes.
Nobody wants my dirt brown pythons.
Yes. Finally, it's come to you to have the dirt brown snakes.
Fine, I will keep them and they will be mine.
Exactly. That's how I feel about the pop ones.
No one cares about those.
Yeah, so we did some herping so Rob came out. Always great having Rob out here. And we did some Pine Barrens herping.
And I messed up where I took the time off after Carpet Fest. I should have taken the time off before Carpet Fest.
Yeah.
So
that's okay.
But no, the way you guys described what I missed, I think I'm good. I think I made the right choice.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm the smart one here.
We did find so it was me, Balin, Curtin, and Rob, and we hit up the Pine Barrens, and we ended up finding an Eastern hog, which is just right on the trail, which is kind of one of those things that always make me think when you're herping, because we're all looking all over the place, and we're looking for the perfect spot of where you think the snake would be, based off of pictures that you've seen, you know what I mean? So you're sort of like, oh, where would it be if I was a snake? And Rob and Jason they're just walking. They just walk right over top of it. And when I'm walking, this is how I kind of herp. I kind of look where everybody else is looking. I kind of get a feel for where they're looking, and then I look in the opposite spot.
Right.
So
which we did Jason that on the trail in Australia.
Yeah. Jason's on one side, Rob was kind of looking on the other side, and I just was looking down at the trail. And sure enough, they just walked right over top of it. And then I looked down and I was like, oh, that's a snake. Hey guys, you want to walk over the snake?
You want to see this? Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, which was awesome.
What I like to do is I like to throw off how I'm walking to confuse the sandworms, so that there's no like actual, rhythm to my walk is what you have to do. So
I see. Yeah. That's smart. Very good.
Yeah.
One
day it'll come in handy, but
hooded up.
So
man, I think hooded up.
Yeah, and it looked really pretty too. It looked light. The one that we found with Curtin in Jersey was very dark. So
yeah, the sucker was. I'm going to show you a picture of it. There we go. Just kind of disappears.
Pretty. It does. I think they call that camouflage.
Yes.
So I think that's what the animal was going for. But
yeah, just a cool thing. However, the downfall to finding snakes in the Pine Barrens is the chiggers and the ticks.
Yeah. I at this point I believe that New Jersey is just mostly chiggers and ticks during the summer months. It's just it died. That's unfortunate.
Oh, it schweezed all over me, man.
That beautiful pungent odor. Yeah.
And then Rob was having a hell of a time photographing, and this was Balin's first time
with an Eastern.
Rob. No.
First time Rob photographing.
Photographing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You tell them it's going to take a while. Like,
I was
get
like,
comfortable.
That's like, Balin, you might want to walk around a bit.
Yeah,
This is going to take a while.
Yeah,
and the snake wouldn't cooperate because Rob would flip it over and then it would flip back.
That's what they do. Like,
he's like, this is impossible to photograph.
Yes,
but it was pretty cool when it hooded up. So
that is gorgeous. Yeah,
it's a cool snake. I'm surprised you don't keep them. Oh, the toads.
We talked about this. We talked about the toads, and then when I was talking about it during Carpets and Coffee, Jason Balin was texting me mean things because I had said that you guys only found one snake.
Yes.
And one of the things was that if I kept Eastern hogs, I'd probably kill them. I'm like, well, that's mean, and now I don't know what to do. So Jason Balin has, I'm sorry, what did he want to call Big Papa has now that he sucked my confidence away. It's gone. So
he calling me Big Papa.
Oh, I thought he wanted to call him. I thought he only wanted us to refer to him as Big Papa. No. Okay. Well, then we messed that up on that Carpets and Coffee. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. No, what had happened is we were, when you go out to eat, it's always easier if one person pay and then divide it all up in Venmo or whatever. And Mike drove, and I have huge respect for Jason and Rob, so I was like, I'll treat. So I was like, here, and he's like, oh, Big Papa. So that's where that came from.
About right.
Yeah. It was interesting doing Carpet Fest in September. Because it wasn't hot.
No.
One of the reasons we did do it later in September is because we wanted to herp.
Right.
When Rob came out, and when we go in August, when we went in July, when we went in June, just like nothing really on the crawl. Right. And you got to work. I think me and Rob hiked. So the second day, me and Rob hiked. I think total we did 22 miles.
Jesus,
what it was, and we found one snake. So we found more snakes on the Poconos trip than we did.
We did.
Yeah, we found water snake. So we went up to Rob's Seacaz's house.
Yep.
And we met up with Jason Earl, which it's always good seeing those guys. And we saw Robert's collection, his lizard stuff in his rooms and stuff. It's really cool. He's doing some natural cages and stuff like that. And he was getting rid of his barneck.
Which, I mean, you want to talk about too many cooks in the kitchen. Watching the three of you, because it was you, Robert, and Jason, wrestle this scrub that was not being aggressive. It just didn't want to deal with you guys.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I'm going to put my hands in my pockets and take a step back because this is hilarious. So you guys did eventually get her into a box, but.
Well, it was like weird because
there she is.
I felt like I went to go take her out. My idea was I wanted to put the tub into the enclosure. And then now that I thought about it after the fact, I was like, it's not a carpet. It's a scrub. That's not going to work.
You should have had it on the floor and just going to been out of the cage in the bucket.
Yep. And you're right. It was, somehow her tail got wrapped around Jason's arm, and Rob's trying to grab it, and the head's swinging back, and we're getting squeezed on.
This is how somebody gets their ear pierced.
Going,
I believe I sat back and said someone needs to work on their scrub skills because they are out of practice. So
yeah, man,
she's gorgeous though. That's a nice animal. And now, of course, you and I both have scrubs again.
Yeah, so I always wanted to get so I'm never gonna have King Horn Eye, probably. That's not gonna happen.
Maybe never. Yeah.
Maybe never. Who knows? Never know. But I kind of feel like that's not gonna happen. So
I feel like that's a big one. that's one that they're gonna notice. Like
yeah. So I thought if I wanted to try to breed, one of my goals in life is to try to breed as many Australian pythons as I can. I know this isn't an Australian python, but I figure like it's a scrub. It would kind of be like how I would approach chondros would be the same way. Like you can't get this, so you got to take what you can get.
Yeah.
So anyway, back in the scrub world with a female. I'm just enjoying her, man. She's got the cage that's right up on the top there.
So if anybody knows of a male bar neck, Eric needs one.
Yeah, I got her quarantining at the moment, but that
you set up the cage. You're like,
yeah,
this is where you will go eventually. You're like,
yeah. You know, I just want to make sure everything is cool and all. And
of course,
just, you know how it goes.
Everything has to. You know, we've talked about this numerous times. Everything should be quarantined. I don't care where it comes from. So
yeah.
You know, I got a couple animals that'll be out of quarantine soon, and then I'll finally have them all back to where all the snakes are supposed to be. Right. So, yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of. I mean, you know, it was a good time. It was basically a week for me. But
I do want to talk about the new acquisitions because
yes,
we can start with the Carpet Fest ones because I got a water python male from Eric Kohler.
Yeah,
to now go with my 2 female water pythons. So I am renewed that I can complete the water python thing. So that's going to happen hopefully this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I didn't get anything else new. I wasn't the one who had a major collection overhaul or
yeah,
you did. So
I did.
You got a water python also.
I did.
Yeah.
I had a pair. I lost the female, so I got a female from him because it was Queensland water pythons.
Right.
So,
and then
I have a pair back again.
You got a Brisbane,
dude.
And this Brisbane,
dude,
that's a pretty Brisbane. That's a gorgeous Brisbane.
First of all, huge shout out to Kohler because I mean, when he brought that animal, I kind of was like, are you sure?
Well, and that's the thing is where
are you sure?
There's certain times where it's like there's certain people in the carpet community that if they told me that that's so pretty, like if they were to be like say I was to buy an animal from Kohler and he'd be like, you want to see pics? I'd be like, no, you pick. Like I would trust him with picking something that he knows I would like. Like I'm not going to be like, oh crap, I would have done it. Like him, Balin, you. I mean, like those people, I'd be like, you know, yep, no, I know what I want. Like you know what I like, you know what I want. I trust you. Just grab me one.
Right.
So
that's kind of what he did. He said, "Do you want a picture? You want me to pick it out?" He said, I have one that's feeding and it looks phenomenal. And I have another female that is not feeding. I just want to make sure that, you know, you're happy, which I appreciated that he was so concerned about, you know, me being
whether or not you're all set. Yeah.
You know, and then when he brought it, I was like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, are you sure?
I think I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, are you happy? I said, fuck yeah, I'm happy. What do you mean? It's a Jesus. Why do I
get the freaking hiccups all of a sudden? Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. I guess Brisbane's give me hiccups.
Brisbane's take your breath away. Oh no.
Well, I was in this project, but Owen will tell you, I had my group all of a sudden got these like, I don't even know what you would call them. The thing, it's like a water pus pocket or something.
They had the same thing that my Macklot's Python Glitch had, where it's like they have an infected tear duct. And then what happens is that the space between the clear eye cap and the eye fills up with pus or infected stuff. And then what happens is that it puts pressure on the eye. And you can hit them with a ton of antibiotics, which is, you know, that's what I did. And it'll clear up the infection. And then you have to hope that they shed, but a lot of times that just keeps happening. Like the tear duct doesn't stop being infected. What ended up actually have happened with my guy is Glitch kept going, and they tried to repair the tear duct or tried to find a way to drain the tear duct, but it was just going to keep happening. Like his eye was still under there. It just, he couldn't see.
Yeah.
So we ended up actually removing the eye. And now Glitch is fine. You sent one of your Brisbanes over here a little, it must have been like, what, 2 years ago, a year ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. And it had that eye thing, but It wasn't really like, it shed. It kind of looked a little bit normal, kind of didn't look great. We got it kind of squared up on a couple other things, sent it back to you. And I don't think that thing ever fully recovered. Like, we didn't have its eye removed or anything, but I don't think that thing ever was going to.
No, it didn't.
Which, do you chalk that up to breeding depression? Because Brisbans themselves are all from.
Could be.
I mean, we've been talking about that for a while. Certain Brisbane breeders and stuff like that. That it's only a matter of time before this whole breeding brother to sister, mother to son, father to daughter is going to come back to bite us.
Maybe it's the farther you go away from it, the worse it is.
Yeah. So, you hatched, or Eric Kohler hatched that one out, and you got her, and she's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I'm like, I'll breed you a male, but both of mine are. It kind of seems like there's two different varieties of Brisbane. There's red with a little bit of peach, and then there's peach with a little bit of red. And I think she's a peach with a little bit of red.
Yeah.
But all mine are red with a little bit of peach. So right. I don't know. But I don't know what I'm going to produce here. But it's going to be one of those that if I hatch out a peach male, I know where it's going. It's going to be just like that stripe thing again. I'm just going to knock on your door and be like, you need this. Goodbye.
Take this.
Yeah.
No.
Dory's home. You're not. When he gets home, give him this. Like, yeah.
He's going to fight you.
He's going to fight you. Don't let him. Yeah.
I was going to pull up the picture if I could. Nick had a striped Brisbane from years ago.
I have a striped Brisbane.
Yeah, but this one in particular was
it a peach stripe, and mine's a red stripe?
I think it's a peach stripe. I don't know. I want to see what you think of it. I just have to find the picture of it. Oh, here it is.
That was another thing that happened earlier this week is you came over and I let you peek behind the veil.
Whew. Yes. That one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mine does not look like that. Mine's got more of a red.
That's what I hope she looks like.
But that kind of looks like the female that I'm breeding.
Oh, really?
Male. Like, she doesn't have any kind of organized stripe like that. It's broken up, but that's her kind of base color.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
So maybe we'll get that project going again.
Yeah. So.
And then I also picked up, we looked at the hypos.
Yes, we looked at the hypos. You picked out your pair of hypo tigers, hypo stripes, hypo whatever the hell's hypo lesser tigers, hypo whatever you them. Yes. So you grab those. They're vicious little killing machines eating fuzzy hoppers already. So that's that. And then I dazzled you with my wares of all my fun little things that I got going on. And it was like, I love when I open up a bin and you're like, Jesus, and I just close.
Yeah, that happened a couple times.
Where you're like, holy shit, it's closed it. And you're
was
like,
Needle?
Yeah, Needle was one. Yeah. I think the Xanac Tigers.
Dude, they were so nice in person. Holy shit.
The MPN Caramels, the Jungles.
Well, I took one of them.
Yeah, well, the MPN
I took one of them.
Can I tip you with the? Yes, you can. All right.
Like, okay, I'll take that.
Can I take this? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Jungles. It was
Jungles.
I was like, holy shit, what is that? Like Mojo Reptiles.
Reptiles, the scatter shot. Yeah.
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 So I was like, oh man, that
the
was
Argentines, really nice. The white lips, that the red that Buddy produced.
Oh, that snake was amazing.
Yeah.
Holy
that's
shit,
what Ish,
that was a nice snake.
Ish is like, I want rhinos. I'm like, I need reds. This poor girl doesn't have a boyfriend. And he's like, holy crap, we'll work something out. I'm like, yeah. Right. So
Ish has some really nice.
Ish does have stuff. That's the dangerous part. Is I'm like, listen, I have a pair of yearling rhinos. If you want to give me however many reds you think is fair for that pair, get them the hell out, and I will I will take reds.
So apparently, I guess my morph project in carpet pythons is hypo, caramel, and red.
Yeah, I did. I guess throw a wrench in your works there, didn't I? Where you're like, I just want caramel. I just want hypo and red. And I'm like, caramel, bitch. Like it was just like, now you have to deal with that. It's which, I mean, I gave you got one of the better females. Her color just exploded over the past like month or two. Yeah, and I'm like, I already picked my holdback. Eric can have one. Like, it's just like, I need to stay close.
Keep it close. Yeah, I was telling Riley about it, and he was saying, yeah, apparently he has one of them too.
He does.
And he was like, holy shit. I said, oh, okay.
Which was hilarious because he did that show. He did the Trap Talk show with Brandon yesterday. And they started talking about M-Pens because Michael Pennell was in the audience. And I guess MJ didn't realize who M-Pen or Michael Pennell was or the connection. And Riley pulled out the M-Pen caramel. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, talk about it. And then they just kept talking about other things. I'm like, no, mention the damn snake in your hands. Like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? I have 4 of them. Will you just so...
Well, don't worry, man. Probably Monday or Tuesday, I will do a proper photo shoot.
There you go. And so it was just dumb.
They will put that out there.
It was cool. It was fun. I enjoy when you pop in because you just start looking around. I showed you the Waminas and
beautiful. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Holy
all the
shit.
stuff that's going on. Like I got to take you a tour.
You have a lot going on, man.
I do. I really.
Every time I go there, I'm like, holy shit.
I really do.
How the frig does he do this shit? I'm like,
I just grind until you're dead, man. So
I'm like, what a bitch you are, Eric.
Yeah. You're like, I'm doing 10 pairs. Then you walk down my basement. You're like, holy shit. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, it was fun that I got to do that. We got to go to Rob's and we got to also do some herping.
Yeah.
We found a milk snake, which was cool. So tick that off the list.
Yeah.
So another snake of Pennsylvania that we that I saw,
which was cool. It was cool seeing Jason Earl up there, and
he's good people.
I gave him back the female white lip that he had given me to breed, and I sent her home with a male. And I love it because when you have like-minded people, like Jason messaged me later and he goes, "This male is absolutely fucking gorgeous." I'm like, "Thank you." Like, yes, he's very pretty. Like, I picked him out myself, but it's like when you have somebody who shares the passion for that species, he's like, "Man, they're gonna make some really, really unhappy but gorgeous babies." I'm like, "Yes, they'll be evil, but they'll be so pretty." So, hopefully, he has success. I'm gonna kind of walk him through what I did. And hopefully he can be successful as well, because it would just be cool to get more of that species produced captively.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He, I should say that he was the one that found the milk snake. He's like,
yes,
I remember him saying, he's like, I should flip this rock, and he's like,
and he just flipped the rock. It was a milk snake. Yeah. It was.
I love when things work out like that.
Things work out that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you just got a water python.
Yeah, there was just a water python, right? Yeah, no, it's just a water python, but I had to babysit other things because I bought into a striped jungle male with other buddy.
Okay.
That was also delivered to Carpet Fest that was going to, because I have 2 jungle jags that aren't here, they're at Buddy's, that he'll be breeding to this striped jungle male, because my thing is that this striped jungle male is pure or doesn't have, like, there's a lot of unknowns. We're not sure.
Okay.
I kind of feel most striped jungle males, if they don't come from a striped line, it calls into question all of their lineage. Because I've seen very few pure striped jungles.
I think Riley and maybe Justin.
Right. And that's the thing is, if you were selling this as a striped jungle that had ties to the animals that Riley has or Justin has or have a lineage, you'd mention that as a selling point.
Yeah. 100%.
This was just a striped jungle. So it's probably a mix between.
Well, you're breeding it to a.
Exactly.
Jack,
I'm breeding the jungle jacks. I don't give a shit.
Right.
It's got some nice yellow and it has a stripe down its back, which means the jungle jags will be clean. That's what I want.
They'll reduce. Remember, like those tribal carpets in Australia?
Right.
I think that's how they
that's the
got
thing is
to
one
that.
of them is an ocelot jungle jag that is produced for me twice. And then the other one is that ultraviolet jungle jag.
Okay.
So, yeah, just see how it goes. So that was also that part of it. So technically I got a water python and half a carpet.
Half a carpet. Okay.
Half a carpet.
Half a carpet.
So
right. That's cool.
Dude, it's just
for once I beat you.
For once. Yeah, this one time.
Don't let it happen again.
You know, you were saying that, and I still have like 9 animals in quarantine. So it's
I'm I love the size of my collection right now.
Yeah.
It's very manageable, very stress-free, very
the other good
excited to be into the room. I sort of feel like I don't know if maybe it's Carpet Fest, maybe it's I don't know what it is. Maybe just I'm feeling better, healthier, whatever. But I feel wanting to go into the room. You know, for a long time I was like, I got to go into the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I want to be in there. So after work, I'm like, you know, grab myself a coffee and go down and like, you know, just look around and see what's going on and what's doing what, who shed, and this, the reduced pattern Darwins that I picked up the week before. So there's those too, had shed.
Right.
And I was like, God damn, like really, really nice. Really nice. So
yeah,
lots of cool stuff for sure. I guess maybe we'll talk for the last 15, 20, 30 minutes or so about buying a carpet python. So I got messaged from a couple people asking if we could sort of talk about some tips for buying a carpet python. Like, what should you do? Where should you get them? And I think the first thing that I would say is figuring out what kind of carpet python do you want. There's many different types. There's, you know, depending on what your preference of color and pattern, temperament, ease of care would kind of come into play with, you know, what you can do to set it up, you know.
Right.
I mean, obviously with diamond pythons and bredli, you know,
those are all different things.
You want to be able to keep them a little bit on the cooler side.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with the other ones, you want to kind of be able to keep them on the warmer side, you know.
Right. And I feel like, excuse me, we're all drawn to a certain Morelia, and then there's two ways to kind of two schools about it. You end up buying a mix, and then as you learn more about it, you kind of figure out your own path, or Morelia catches your eye and you start doing the research on care, what's out there with different types and where to get it. So I feel a lot of it comes down to is like, we're going to skip over the whole thing of what are you like, you're still working on let's say you've already decided Morelia. Okay. I'm going to get a carpet python.
Okay.
And you have a bunch of different types, and let's say you've done all the research and all that fun stuff. So the first thing you would do is that you're now going to approach to try to buy one. So if you're going to go to a show, because the first one would be reptile show, and you're going to looking for a carpet python, I would say not to just wander around and look for the price. Like I'm here for a jungle, and I'm here for a jungle at $100, and $100 is all I will spend. It's like, well, you've now limited yourself to a very small thing, where you might get a jungle, and also you're going to get it off a flipper table. So,
and that in itself is not necessarily bad, but there are a lot of things that come along with that once you understand the carpet python world, and I guess the way that the community looks at those type of things, maybe you made a premature choice.
I would say that if this is going to be your first foray into Morelia, that you should find someone that works with the Morelia you want to work with to buy from.
Right.
It doesn't have to be their main thing. Like, you can buy a jungle from me, like you get like that kind of stuff, or you can buy a coastal from you. Like, obviously we both have our other main stuff, but we know what we're doing enough there, because I feel like what you also kind of want is the idea that if something does start going sideways, you have someone to contact, you have someone to talk to. Right. You have someone to figure it out. Now, if you were to call certain flipper tables and be like, my animal isn't eating, they'd be like, I don't know, figure it out. Or call me back when it's dead. Like, and even if they take your phone call, like, I would seriously consider talking to somebody that works with the species. So if you go up to a table and there's a shit ton of carpet pythons on the table, chances are they breed carpet pythons. And that would be the person I would talk to. And I would try to tell them what you're looking for, number one. So approach the table, and here I am at my table at Hamburg. You tell me what you're looking for. I'm looking for Papuan carpets. Okay. Well, I don't have any on the table, but I know the people you could go to, and that's my recommendation. So if your heart is set on Papuan carpets, a breeder of carpet python just gave you their picks of people to go
where they would buy it.
Right. And that's a great place to start. Now, say you come up to the person, you're like, I would like a carpet python. You're looking for jungle, coastal. I really like a carpet python. I don't care if it's a jungle or coastal. I was leaning one way, but I could be convinced to go another way. Okay. Well, are there any here that catch your eye? Because that would be the one would be like, I want this one. So asking questions like, what is its temperament? Like, all right, you can ask that, but it's not going to change. It's a baby python. It can bite, it can nip. And you know what? If you can't handle it when it's this tiny, how are you going to handle it when it's that big? But I think what you should do is ask questions like, how is it being kept? When was the last time it ate? What is it eating on? And then, can I hold it? Can I check it out? Because sometimes putting hands on it is what makes or break it. And then also ask, walking up and saying, what kind of snake is this, just tells the breeder automatically you don't know what you're talking about. But asking questions like, is there a line involved? Reading the label and it says, wow, a zebra. Is that a line? Asking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What does wow mean?
Exactly. That's informative. That we have no problem talking to people about. But you got to understand, is a lot of times people come walking up to us at shows, point at something and say, what kind of ball python is that? Or can I hold that? Or, all of this stuff. So you have to kind of show us that you're interested for the right reasons. Because it's one of those things that I try to, if you don't know what the animal is, I'm very reluctant to sell it to you. So
yeah, it's the one thing I was saying today was that the Morelia community, carpet python community, is not the biggest, but it's definitely one of the tightest, in my opinion, groups of people that are into a group of snakes. Very passionate, very, I know that in the past it's been labeled elite. I wouldn't say it's elite. I think we're more nerd, like we're not like the typical, and again, this is not shitting on the ball python world. It's sort of saying that they're more into an entrepreneur type of situation, they have a genetics their own business, and they're just we're falling apart tonight, man.
I know you're
I'm hiccuping, you're sneezing,
you're hiccuping. It's all over the place. So I think where carpet pythons are concerned is that we have to have so much base knowledge in our heads broken down. It's not like ball pythons where it's like that plus that equal that. That can only go with this, and this for it to be pure. And if it goes with this, and this, it's not pure. If it goes with this and this, it kind of is pure. Also, it only has those are localities, which means it can only go to localities. Like, it's all
And these are
It's all
morphs.
over the place.
You can't just cross
Can't
morphs.
do this. Can't do that.
Yeah,
that equals that. That equals this. That doesn't make any sense. That's what this means.
I
And
think
it's hard to keep all that jumbled together and try to convey that without sounding like a complete snob.
yes.
Like it's
yeah.
So
yeah, because you that's a perfect way to say it.
It's trying to convey that to. I try to dumb it down because I feel like it's how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. Right. So dumbing it down to carpet pythons, well, there's 3: coastals, jungles, pop ones. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, there's the northern coastal, and then there's the southern coastal, and then there are the Cape. Like, no, there you go. Those are the ones. And then people like Darwin. Well, Darwin's kind of related to pop ones. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's small things like that. And then as people get more into it, you can kind of let more in. Like if I were to stand there and just kind of preach to somebody for 2 hours about all the different things, they would not hear anything. So I prefer to give them a little bit of a taste of the history, set them up for success with the animal. And then if they're interested, they come back. They may only ever get one carpet python. And then it doesn't matter if they call it a coastal and it's really a coastal jungle. Like it's, but other things, if they call it a jungle jag and they don't know that jag is the morph, not the animal, like that kind of stuff. Like that doesn't matter if they were just setting it up as a pet. But I kind of feel like when you get into it, you know enough to be dangerous, and then you kind of get into it and then you learn more. And that's when you find your little, your part of the carpet community.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I guess I would backtrack a second and I would say, okay, so, if you're interested in carpet python, okay, I want to get a carpet python. I've been looking at them. They look like they're an awesome snake. Let me see how I go about getting it. Where would you research? I mean, the book, obviously the more complete carpet python is where I would say to start. That's going to give you everything you want to know.
There's a podcast that's been running around for about 13 years, I guess.
That's what I was going to say. There's a podcast where you can, if there's a particular type that you like or a particular morph that you like, I'm sure we've talked to people about those things. So then you're gonna get a feel for like what you wanted, like, because when I started, it was like I was drawn to the jungle carpet, obviously yellow and black. It was like, holy shit. But then once I started like researching more about it, I was like, okay, well, it seems like a lot of people are doing this. And I really like the look of these pop one carpets. And I kind of went that route. I kind of went the route of saying, like, I think these need to be more popular. And I think if they were selectively bred like the other ones, that they could possibly be just as nice, but with a different color palette,
Right.
And it really kind of depends on that. And what are you looking for? I mean, do you want something that's crazy, like an albino? Do you want like,
also, what are your plans?
And that's
are you setting up a vivarium? Are you breeding? Are you?
Right. So there's all things that you have to figure out, I would say, before you even go to attempt to do it. So Owen's talking about if you're buying at a show, and I agree with him what he's saying, just don't go up and buy the cheapest one you see. I would say that if you're going to purchase a carpet python and you want something that's quality, I would say that you're probably going to spend somewhere between $300 to $500. And the more bells and whistles, better lines, more localities, selectively bred for years, very rare lineage, all that kind of stuff is going to go up from there. And then you have your outliers where they're not bred as much, diamond pythons, inland carpets.
Yep.
Bred
like to an extent.
They seem to have been bred quite a bit over the past couple of years.
Bred like are one of those things where they're not one of the like original ones that people jump onto.
Yeah.
But
which
they are bred. I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Are they nipper red or are they?
They're nipper red.
They're nipper red. Okay.
He can't argue with me.
Nipper approved red. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that's just because I don't know if some people are kind of put off by their size. Or the fact that
that's the other thing, they
well, I mean, also
of sizes.
You line up baby jungle, baby bredli, baby coastal, jungle every time. Everybody's going to go right to the jungle.
Yeah.
Especially if it starts getting like a little bit of yellow. Done.
Yeah. I would say the other thing you should understand is that carpet pythons, like most or I guess now it would be all Morelia, go through roughies don't. So I take that back. Most go through an ontogenic color change.
Oh yeah.
So what they
Usually,
look like as a baby is not going to be what they look like as an adult. And there's ways, there's some articles out there where John Battaglia, you can look it up at Reptiles Magazine, where he talked about how to pick out a jungle carpet, what to look for if you want like a really nice yellow and black. I would say back when me and Owen were starting picking out jungle carpets, it was a lot harder to try to get the trophy animal. But because they've been bred so
everything's a trophy now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 75% of the clutch is a trophy. And that other 25% of the clutch is like what we would consider a B grade
animal
back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like color and pattern and whatnot. So you got that. You also have things like Riley's YouTube. You could check that out if you're more into the YouTube thing to sort of get a visual for stuff. He hits on a lot of those topics and whatnot. There's tons of ways that you can do the research. The point is that you should really kind of research what you want, because it's not as simple as like what Owen was saying, as like just buying a ball python and I want to breed a bumblebee, so I need a pastel.
I know the ingredients. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that simple. So it's really,
and there's also a lot of half information or misinformation out there, where people think a jungle jag is pure. Some people think that a jag carpet is a type of carpet when it is actually a mutation. Some people don't even know about certain mutations and other things that you're dealing with. I would say, though, there's room in Morelia, because of how variable the babies are, to carve out your own little corner. Oh, so 100%. If you want to do something, if you want to build a project, you can build it, and then it can take you on little funs and twists and turns. But again, with the color change, sometimes babies don't get their color till they're about a year and a half old. Yeah. So I would say definitely go for something smaller. Know that a lot of people, the general rule of thumb is it's not up for sale until it's taking food regularly. I don't want to make your life harder or have you contact me and make my life harder. So
I'm going to take a crazy stance with this one. Don't buy adults.
I would say that if you're just getting into it, don't buy adults.
Don't buy adults. Buy a baby.
There's a lot of, if an adult animal is for sale, there's probably a couple reasons why. One is it doesn't fit into a breeding scheme, and that's fine. Other times it's because people are getting out of it. And Eric and I have kind of talked about that a couple of times, is that a lot of times when people are getting out of it, if it's especially due to like a burnout or other things like that, the level of care tends to go down, which is unfortunate. Or it's on a flipper table because they bought somebody's collection out. So a lot of times with the buying adult animals, you run a lot of risks. One, that what you're being sold is not what it is, because people are it's at a flipper table and they're like, yeah, pure jungle.
And here's the thing. Yeah. Even if they're not doing it purposely, when I think of a big reptile company that sells multitude of species, right? And they have everything: colubrids, they have pythons, they have boas, they have geckos, that like that kind of table. 9 times out of 10, they might know a little bit about it, right? Because you have to know a lot about have to know a little about a lot, right? Right. Whereas when you go to somebody that's specifically breeding carpets or Morelia, or maybe they breed pythons, I think they're going to have a better, even sometimes pythons, right? Because if you were to tell me about lines and locality, I mean, with retics, I could maybe get by, but I'm not going to know bloodlines and that. Like, I know carpet stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like,
I think comparing carpets to any other type of species out there, it goes directly with red tails, boas. Yeah. Because you have all the different species of boa, you have the different localities, you have mutations within different subspecies of red tail, all this kind of shit. And then they have the no-nos where you're not supposed to take that with that, but some people do because it's funky. So like that, I think carpet pythons and boas are like, that's comparable to me.
Very similar. So if you're coming from that world, you may have an easier time
exactly
catching on to what's going on. So let's just say that you have this, I want a jungle carpet, right? So the next thing I would do is I think the best thing you could do would be to look up breeders that we have talked to about jungle carpets.
Yeah. So you
And
did a jungle carpet show.
You're gonna listen to 2 hours of us talking to a breeder, and you're gonna get a feel for that person in that time frame. You're gonna say, oh, I like that person, I don't like that person, but I don't like how they do this or that or whatever. And it can really give you an insight into whether or not you want to deal with that breeder. Then if you decide that that's where you want to go, let's say, okay, I want to buy a jungle carpet from Mike Curtin because I heard that he has phenomenal Mike.
And I checked out his Instagram and I saw the animals and
at that point, you have to decide whether you're going to go to a show or you're going to buy it online. If you buy Morph Market, you can go to Morph Market, I suppose.
You can, and obviously there's ways to talk to somebody, a carpet breeder or something about an animal. I would say first things first is introduce yourself and say that you're inquiring about this, because now we have a place to start on. And if you have a couple questions, ask them. Just like, I have a couple questions I just wanted to know. I like emails and text messages a lot because it gives me time, especially during the work week, to respond back. Calls out of the blue are kind of like an emergency only kind of a deal. So, but it's happened before. But just know what you want. If you're going to call somebody, don't do I was just wondering about a jungle carpet. Did you have one in mind? No. It's like, come on. Like, it's certain things, that you are trying to, like, you don't want to take up somebody's time needlessly.
Would you say that it's fair to say that if somebody is somebody asks a question about a jungle carpet,
right,
but they say something along the lines of, hey, so I'm trying to find out what it means, what tipping means.
Okay.
I've looked into jungle carpets, and does it mean this? Is it this? Like, what is the difference between these two? Like, I don't know, if you show the breeder that you sort of like
that you
researched a little bit, and then ask the question on top of that, I think that's going to even be.
I like that better than I know it's a Jag, and I know that Jag's narrow, but has this Jag shown any signs of any narrow? Possibly,
yes,
because it's a Jag. The answer is always, yeah, it's a Jag. Like, I don't like, and so how bad is the Nero? It's a Jag. Like,
the problem with that,
I wouldn't put it up for sale if the Nero was absolutely horrible and it couldn't right itself, but it's a Jag. Also, we all know that Jags have Nero. We also know that Nero is brought on by stress levels and things like that. So I can tell you it's this way, but then you can take it home and shove it in a glass cage in the middle of your dining room and freak it the hell out for So that, I prefer the questions of what is tipping, or I had a question about the difference between this and this, or I heard about this, or I saw that you had caramels and I saw that you now have MPen caramels, but I wasn't familiar with what MPen stands for.
Right.
Okay.
And how will that look different?
Right.
Than, say, a normal
how that goes. And that goes with this, or, again, what is it eating? How is its care? What are you keeping it in? That kind of stuff, where
that's an important
frustration comes in.
Put a pin in. Go ahead.
Well, the frustration comes in is the whole like $ snake question mark. It's like, what do you want? Or people that, like I said, with the wasting of the time needlessly, where people call and they want to shoot the shit. Like, I understand wanting to shoot the shit and stuff like that, but if you're calling in to inquire about a snake, let's talk about the snake. If you want to just shoot the shit with me, I have a podcast, I have an email, I have calling and doing unfortunately, we have jobs, we have snake collections, we have families and other stuff like that. So we may not be able to, and we don't want to come off as rude or anything like that. So it's a lot of times it's easier to just kind of reach out. And if you want to talk to them on the phone, ask if they can call you. Just ask if, I was wondering if you were available. Are you busy? Also be flexible, inquiring about a snake. might mean that it might take a little bit. If this is something you have to have right now, like it, I don't think you should. There's a reason that when I set up my website, I didn't let them put in a buy now button, because I don't want somebody
right
to just buy an animal and I have to ship it out to you. Like
Yeah.
I want to talk to you, because I want to make sure that, one, you know what you're getting into and that you can handle this, and also that you know that I'm here. Because I've had it where people have bought animals from me, run into a problem, and then rather than contacting me, sending me an email, calling me, or whatever, they go to the internet, and
Yeah.
the internet blows them up or blows me out of the water. I remember a couple years back, I sold a pair of bredli babies at, I think it was Tinley or something. And then the following year, we're getting ready for Tinley, and somebody brought to my attention that the guy who had bought the babies from me, who I guess had a podcast or a YouTube channel or something like that, had posted up that the bredli were not eating very well, and all this other stuff was happening. And every person, some people who I knew, were just blasting the breeder, me. They didn't know it was me,
right
out of the water about like how they were way too small. I should never have sold them, all this other stuff. And how they had already been taking, all like, that guy was lying to you. They're not taking meals. And then he tried live and they started eating, which is what I would have told him if he had
if he would have
contacted me,
reached out to you.
that they started on live. So if they are backing up, give them a couple live and then try with the frozen thawed. So when I finally got aware of this thread a year later, the bredli were rolling and they were fine. And I reached out to this guy and I'm like, I wish you had contacted me. He's like, well, actually, I lost your number. I'm like, well, post up a thing saying that you're looking for a guy who was selling bredli at Tinley. Like, there's ways to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And I would have tried to help you out, because I don't like having my customers out there flying solo, where if something goes wrong, I want to be able to help.
Yeah, I think I
think is what you're buying when you're purchasing an animal from a carpet breeder, is you're purchasing the chance that if something goes wrong, you can come back to me.
Yes. I think that when you think about buying from a breeder, so let's just say that the snake's a year old or 2 years old or whatever, and does some kind of weird thing or something that's just doesn't seem normal or whatever, and you'd call the breeder and you're like, yeah, I don't know, the mom does that too. I don't know, it's just a weird thing, she's fine. But when you're talking to that breeder, the breeder is going to know what it ate.
Right.
You know what the parents ate.
Yep.
Going to know when it was hatched, when it, they
want to know
how long did it go to the feeding.
Yep. They know the annoying piss ant of a baby that is in the same clutch that just started eating, what that got. Like,
right. So I think when you think of buying from a breeder as opposed to somebody that might be selling like a flipper or something like that, you definitely are going to be able to have an advantage there, to where you sort of have somebody that you can reference. And let's just say that you get into them and you find out you really love them.
Yeah.
And you've now established yourself with a breeder, and you may want to go back and then you want to get a male for the female, or you want to make it a pair, or whatever the case would be. And now you have that relationship with that person.
You can always ask for suggestions. I bought this girl from you and I wanted to get a male that was a different line or a different thing. What would you suggest? Or, hey, do you have another breeder in mind? I was looking for these. Oh, well, yeah, my buddy over here. Like, there's different ways to do this. And I would say just be honest. And also, the numbers are there. The prices are there. Understand that that's the price. And I would say that if you're serious, there's a difference between kind of dickering and haggling, and then there's a difference just trying to rake somebody over the coals. It's like, all right, you want to ask for like 20, $50 off, fine. Don't be insulted if somebody says no. Right. And also, don't come at somebody with something like, I've never purchased from you before.
Right.
Can you take $200 off? Why would I do that? Like, I don't, no. So
that was always a rule that I had. It's like, if I was going to buy a snake, I had the money of what I did the research to say, okay, I'm going to buy hey, Nick, I want to buy a caramel. You got them coming in on the next shipment. They're imported. This is what I want. This is how much money I have to spend. What can I get? And he's going to be like, okay, and next thing you know, everything's good. And by doing that, I developed a relationship with Nick.
Yep.
I sort of got in on the inside track of things, talking to him and then talking to Paul, and it's just
my basic rule of thumb is that if I ask you how much and you throw out a number, that's the number. Like, if I'm asking somebody I bought from before, I ask a friend or whatever, how much, and they throw out a number, that's it. I don't fire back with the, would you take 100? Because that's like, no. I told you what I would take. I'm not.
I know that there's people out there that like to haggle. Like my father-in-law was like
some
that.
people that
he
do.
Just loved to haggle. Like things that, like, what are you haggling about that for?
What are we wasting?
The eggs are $2.99.
Just pay the freaking money. Yeah.
And he would always, he was good at it, but it would be like, okay. Sometimes I think if you're going to be a haggler, you have to understand that sometimes you're going to be told no, and you can't be mad about
it. That's it. That's
Say, okay, fair enough.
And also understand where you're coming from. If you've asked me several times to call you when this clutch is available, and I do, and you're the first person I've called,
right?
Starting to dicker about the price on the first animal I've made available on this clutch, and you've bought nothing from me before, and I said, it's going to be this much. Well, how about no? Because I told you, and now if I don't sell to you, what do I lose? Because now they're all going to go on the website, and I might sell 3. Like, I don't. So understand the situation of what you're coming from, and also when it's okay, like, just be polite and be kind of understanding with certain stuff, and don't assume that everything is done on your time, because everybody's got their own schedules, everybody's got their own lives, and it's hard. It's hard to keep up with this kind of stuff unless this is our jobs. Even then, life still gets in the way. So coming in there and expecting the service like I'm a waiter is like, well, wait a minute. Like, I don't. So there's a lot of that stuff. Also, certain things that are beyond the breeder's control. Trying to come down hard about shipping. I don't control the rates that FedEx charges. I can't. If I do have a discount code, awesome. If not, I really can't do anything about that. So asking me to cover something like shipping is a no-go for me, because this is the animal. This is how much the animal costs. Now, if you want to purchase the animal, that's fine. But now comes the point of how did the animal get to you? You can either meet me at a show or you can pay for shipping. I ship through FedEx, which is the only way I'm allowed to. So we have to pay the FedEx prices. Now, if you somehow get a better discount than I do on certain things and want to send me a label, freaking fine. But I'm not going to pay for your animal to get to you. But some places do. Some places don't. If I'm in Pennsylvania, you're in California, just know maybe you shouldn't ask about reductions on shipping. Just know it's going to be close to $100.
Like expensive. Yeah.
If you're worried about shipping, try to find a breeder in your area. Right. There are plenty of different shows.
Yeah. I guess basically, I think what people were looking for is like how to start the process. And I think like when we talk about things like sort of what you're saying about, just not doing an impulse buy type of thing, is because we've done that, and we've regretted those decisions. So we're sort of learn from our mistakes type of situation.
I feel like when you get further into species and you do better with certain species, or you do well with certain species, the impulse buy doesn't hurt as much, because you've gained experience. But I'll tell you, there's some impulse buys that aren't here anymore. Like, either they crashed or they didn't fit or some other stuff. So a lot of it's easier where, as my relationships grew with other breeders, I was able to be like, hey, take me to boa school. Like, you got a lot of boas. Just walk me through it.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm over at their place. How do you do care? Right. What's going on with this one? How do you do that? Okay. That kind of stuff. And I'd say that's why basically I was looking for a carpet breeder for the thing that I am like interested in. Like, I do this, which gives me a good building block foundation, but tell me how it's different.
Right.
Oh, it's no different. Sweet. Okay, these are other things. So it's I know your limitations as far as your knowledge goes, and don't be afraid to ask the questions. But also, like I said, just be understanding that there are going to be some walls, some limits, and probably some surprises as you move down the road of what you thought was this actually is this, and just be willing to accept that.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the gist of it. I mean, it's not incredibly
and a lot of it is also observing,
yeah.
If you were looking for some rare species, rare morph, rarer thing, if you go to if you look at my website and there's a clutch and stuff that looks like you see all the babies and stuff, and then you go look at my Instagram, you can probably find the picture of the clutch being laid and a picture of the clutch hatching. And it's like, it's all right there. Like, I loved how some people were like, do you have proof that you bred the white lips? I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad you asked. Like, here's a picture of her locking up. Here's a picture of the eggs. Here's a picture of the babies. Like, here's the picture of her inverted. Like, it's that kind of stuff. So understand what you're looking at, because one thing I see constantly with other species, not necessarily carpets, is they get an animal off of a flipper table and they say it's this at this age, or it's a captive born and bred, or it's a this. And it's like, yes, that may have been what they were told, but it may have been and it may even be the person who gave it to them what they were told. But somewhere that is either true or not true, and there's no proof to back that up. My favorite is white lips.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know baby gold white lips are spotted.
Yeah.
They're speckled. And because everybody gets like a yearling or a year and a half old that's relatively small, that's already gotten its gold color, they're like, it's a newbie. I'm like, no, it's a year old. Like, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can kind of leave it there. And sure.
And just buy your carpets from me. I'll be nice.
Yeah. And maybe if I sell some, I'll be nice too.
I mean, no, what'll end up happening is I'll end up selling Eric's carpets. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Probably true. Yeah.
That's probably true. All right. Next week we have Glenn is gonna.
Yes.
We tried to do this show a couple times, but
shit keeps happening. But I'm going to be excited for that one.
Next episode, the complete retic. We're going to be talking to Glenn about that. So that should be exciting to do. I guess, we'll just close it out. If you want to support the show, here's some ways that you can. You can subscribe and share the show. You can follow us on MPR on Instagram or Facebook. You can check out our merch store. We have a Teespring store, which, by the way, the Northeast Carpet Fest logo, which is badass, by the way. I must say, that's a freaking bad. I'm almost tempted to tell the guy, hey, I'll pay you another $100. Take the Carpet Fest logo out now, and we'll put it on a t-shirt separately.
Well, so he people were asking me about stickers and other things like
all
that.
There stickers
cool,
are there.
Cool.
Yep.
So yeah, jump on that. I'm tempted to just be like, we should just start figuring out what the Carpet Fest logo for next year is going to be.
Yes, we should. I have all kinds of notes about those things.
I think we should actually have a carpet python this year, or in 2025, because because this was an inland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
that's I think
the last year was a diamond.
Yeah.
We need a carpet python, like a carpet python, not just a Morelia, like a carpet python, like a coastal carpet python.
Oh, you want a coastal carpet?
Yeah, well, a
coastal carpet python.
Yes, I would like a coastal, please. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe we can get a drawing of the Russian tiger.
I was that one that was the baby Russian one. I think 2025 Carpet Fest t-shirt is the baby Russian red tiger to signify the fact that you got two clutches and that the Russians are back in the world.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
If not, it will be a blank sheet.
It will be a sad face with the tear. The sad face emoji with the tear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Womp, womp, womp. So you can check out the merch store there, and all of those links are in the show notes, so if you want to check it out. We also have other podcasts on the network, so if you're into that, probably the best way to do it is subscribe to the YouTube channel and all of the podcasts of everything that we do. We'll be there. And by the way, probably next week sometime, I'm going to be doing a video of EB Morelia stuff and putting it up on the network channel. So,
oh no,
look out for that.
All the EB Morelia things.
Well, I got some new stuff, so I thought it would be cool to show it off, especially the some of the hypos and tigers, and
you show off that caramel
M-Pen caramel
that almost got showed off on Trap Talk Radio, but instead was just kind of there
almost.
So yeah, I'm like yelling. I'm like, Brandon, shut up. Brandon, shut up. Brandon, shut up for 5 seconds. Let Riley talk about the snake in his hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Riley was ready to go.
He was there. No. I saw it. He was trying to make me proud.
Cold-Blooded Caffeine is another sponsor we have. Trey McKendrick, great guys. Fantastic coffee. They have an amazing selection of coffee to choose from, all types. Best thing, 5% of the proceeds from every bag sold is donated to wildlife conservation efforts in coffee producing countries, which is awesome. So we have an affiliate link in the show notes. If you want to get some coffee and use our affiliate link, we get a little kickback, or you can use the code MPR 10. Yeah.
Yep. You can also go to Cold Blooded Cafe, use code MPR20 to get 20% off of your first order, and use FS250 to get free shipping off of any order over $250. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I know they're adding a couple things, and they do have sales every weekend. So double check their social media to see what sales they're producing this week. I don't see what they had there, but they'll probably post something up later. And yeah, I think that's it. So
calendar contest.
Yes, you have till October something.
First.
No, we didn't do it in the 1st of September. I think it's like October 5th because they gave him 30 days. That competition is heating up. Like, have you seen some of the goddamn entries?
Yes.
Be so damn hard this year.
It's gonna be hard.
I thought it was getting off light, with some stuff. There's a gold phase white lip that I produced in the calendar competition. So yeah, I'm already voting for it. I don't care what anybody else is posting. Yeah. So
that's the special category, right?
It is. It's white lips and ring pythons. Yep.
And you're gonna have to pick one or the other.
I mean, I didn't. Yes, we're gonna have to pick one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, at the merch store right now, MPR 10 will take 10% off your order.
Ooh, okay. So, I have to get my Carpet Fest t-shirt.
Yeah, I got that hooked up. So
nice.
No, Owen, don't buy it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No. All right.
So
cool.
All right. That's all.
That's it for everybody. That's all we got for everyone tonight. So we'll catch everybody back here next week for some more Morelia Python Radio. Good night.